Welcome to Lunchtime Confessions. Today, we're going to talk about being friends with the opposite sex. Can you strictly just be friends with someone from the opposite sex? My opinion is yes, you can. Here is why I say yes. I have a male bestie. He's been a friend since I've been a teenager. We've even tried to be more than friends, like talked about it. It just, And it's probably because we know each other goddamn business. So it's kind of like, nah, we'll just stay friends. But absolutely, you can just be friends with the opposite sex. Now, some of y'all don't know how to do that, but it's possible. Some of y'all be out here calling folks bro and sis, but be smashing after midnight. That's that shit that makes people think that men and women cannot just be friends because they have been bamboozled by one of you motherfuckers out here talking about, oh, that's just bro, that's just some of the best advice, some of the best love, some of the best guidance has come from my male BFF. So I really feel like, you can definitely just be friends. Now, how do you know that they're just trying to be friends? One, when y'all hug and he gives you a hug, he keeps his hand above the waist. It don't never just kind of creep down. When you call him crying about your dude, he don't go to bashing that motherfucker. He hears you out and advises. If every time you and your little boo thing get into it, that BFF say, just leave that motherfucker or just leave, shout it, that they trying to get out the friend zone, okay? Them ain't people that's trying to really be your friend. So a dear friend FaceTimes me yesterday and she goes, P, give me your advice. I'm talking to this gentleman and he tells me that his best friend is a woman. No problem. I've dated men who've had best friends as women and there's never been anything more. So she goes, they've been best friends for maybe about a year now. So, the friendship is new, but this is what's bothering me. He spends the night over there. Huh? For what? Has there been a peeping Tom at her window? Do she got a son that he be trying to father figure for? Has she been robbed recently? Why is he sleeping at her house? So she goes, well, he says that he sleeps over there a few times in a week. And so I'm like, well, is he homeless? Have you ever been to his house? Like, I got so many questions. She's like, nah, he got a crib. So I'm like, oh, sis, they fucking. Friend goes, yeah, I assumed that they were, but I assumed that before he even confessed to me that he spends the night over there. It's just the way that he speaks about her. He speaks about her with so much adoration and admiration. And I'm like, So I'm like, did you tell him that shit, is a thing for you? Like, you feel a way about that? And she's like, bitch, I told him, I said something. I said, well, what did he say? He gonna say, that's what everybody say. So I'm like, sis, did you ask if they've ever been intimate? She's like, yeah, I asked that question. I said, well, what did he say? He's like, no, they've never been intimate before. The boy mama even refers to the girl as your little girlfriend. Let me tell you something. You lying motherfuckers make it real difficult for the platonic friends out here in these streets. As soon as I'm upfront about a new love interest about my best friend, he mad. And I'm upfront about Lance at the beginning because Lance is like the girls. Lance stays. Lance, he ain't going nowhere. If you can't rock with Lance, then you can't really rock with me because that's been my friend through and motherfucking through. He stays. I'm also upfront with it, out of respect for the person that I'm currently digging. I don't ever want him to feel like, BFF is a threat or there's been any history besides our friendship. I like to be upfront. I would want him to be that way with me. And then, new guy can decide whether or not he's comfortable with that. I get that for some people, you might not be comfortable with that. Totally get that. I used to be that way in my late teens, early 20s. That shit is dead. Friends can just be that, friends. Shout out to all the motherfuckers that break up with their boo and then end up with bro or sis. We see your lying asses out here. If male or female friend don't come to the family gatherings while you're there, there's a strong possibility that it's more than a friendship and the rest of the family knows and you're the only motherfucker that don't know. Lance be at everything. Sometimes he gets a text before I do. Watch for the signs. If when Bestie call, Bestie be like, are they around? That's her sign. That's her flag. Yeah, bitch, I'm around. Be on FaceTime. Be on speaker. We all friends now. We all BFFs. Hey. I see no problems at all with befriending the opposite sex if you are truly going to be friends. If y'all gonna move past friends, that's wonderful. Sometimes the best relationships come from a solid friendship. That's wonderful. Don't be out here lying, no.
I only have